Hello there, once again from Sweden, and welcome back to another pick a card reading. Before we start today's reading, I just want to say that I've been going through a massive purge, and in the process I got really sick, so I feel great actually at the moment. I feel like 10 pounds lighter. There has been a big shift in my energy. I am excited to share my new vibration with you guys, and yeah, I feel like my ability to hold love and light has definitely stepped up. But I am still a bit sick, or actually not sick, actually I just have a cold and my voice sounds like this, maybe a bit sexy, who knows. Anyways, I'm still coughing. I'm sorry for that, but I'm releasing layers and layers of past blockages and stagnations in my throat chakra, so please bear with me. It will probably go away in the upcoming future. Anyways, I am so excited to be back. I'm excited for today's reading, and we're gonna do how were you seen in the past versus how you are seen now. And to do this reading, I have prepared 3 different piles of cards. There will be 3 separate readings, and what you do is you choose the pile that you naturally feel the most drawn to, and that will be your reading today. As always, we will also take 1 additional card together that you get to see faced upwards, and hopefully that will help you to find that right reading for you today. I have a giant new deck today with animals. You guys that has been following me knows that I like animal cards a lot, or decks, so I have a new one here. So let's just go for it. That feels like pile 1. So how were you seen in the past versus how are you seen now? That, I think it's 2. And for pile 3, how are you seen in the past versus how are you seen now? So pile 1, Boar. Pile 2, Bear. And finally, pile 3, Wren. Okay, that is the options for today's reading. If you need more time, you can pause the video. Otherwise, you will find the timestamps shared in the commentary section, and they will take you directly to your reading. Okay, guys, I'll see you in your separate readings. Hello, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading. How were you seen in the past versus how you are seen now, or how are you seen now? And you felt drawn to the boar here. I just saw actually also the dandelion flowers here. Yeah, the dandelion flowers here. There's some golden helmet here also. It makes me think of a knight. So this is kind of gonna be, I'm gonna put this card here. We're gonna see how it fits into your reading. We're gonna start by organizing your cards. So this will be the cards. Let me see if I can remember. Yeah, that's the card for how are you seen now. We're gonna put those to the side, and we're gonna start by looking at how were you seen in the past. And we're gonna start with your oracle cards here. So how were you seen in the past, pile number 1. And with the boar here, with the boar, and it just felt like the dandelion here. There's a saying here in Sweden, being a dandelion child, actually, dandelion child, maskrosbarn, my Swedish viewers, that's so you understand. Yeah, you probably understand dandelion child. It means being a child that grows up in a difficult childhood. Yeah, in a difficult childhood, actually, dandelion child. So maybe you were seen as a person that came from some difficulties, and with the boar here, harsh environments. Yeah, harsh environments. Let's look at the cards here. Lavender and sleep. Okay. lavender and sleep. We have the porcupine and anemone with boundaries. And look, you know, the porcupine also has, I think they have like spikes. The porcupine, yeah, spikes. So we have the boar with the thick skin and the porcupine with a bit spikes, you know, in its hair. And sleep here. Interesting energy here. I feel like you were seen as somebody with that could maybe at times be a bit have a hard time. I feel like you had a hard time managing your emotions. You know, with the lavender and sleep, sometimes you're like calm, and then the porcupine, but you're still always aware of your surroundings. If you need to put your pikes, what is it called? If you need to put your pikes, I don't know, I have to check that up actually. Let me check it up. Let me check porcupine up just really fast here. Porcupine, yeah, porcupine, it has its pikes. Porcupine. I'm sorry, guys. They have with coats of sharp spines or quills that protect them against predators. So it seems like it's called spines or quills, if I pronounce that right. Yeah, it's there to protect them. And with the boar with the thick skin, you know, it also protects them. And the boar is kind of pretty like an animal that is a bit like ooh, it comes. It's what am I gonna say? What's that word? How to say it? They take like a lot of space. I mean, if a boar comes in the forest, nobody. We have a lot of boars here in Sweden. You don't want to meet a boar in the forest. I mean, they're a bit aggressive. Yeah, especially if they're with their cubs. So they can be a bit aggressive. So I think you could have been, and because we have the lavender and sleep here, I think you were seen as somebody that was a bit unstable in your emotions. You know, at one hand you were like calm, like a sweet calm lamb, but if you got pissed off or angry, then you could be like really aggressive, or you really were standing up for what you believed in. Maybe not even aggressive, but yeah, maybe you were maybe you were defending your viewpoint from a very aggressive, in a very more passionate, if aggressive doesn't resonate with you, in a passionate way. And being very, maybe with the porcupine and boundaries here, maybe easily offended. But I think it's because, like with the dandelion child energy here, because you come from a background or a childhood where you were maybe very criticized by your parents, or in school maybe you were bullied or something like that. So it's like your self-worth or your self-esteem and your self-confidence has been attacked, or you've been minimized maybe by people around you or something like that, and that made you develop a bit of a thicker skin in some way, but not like, yeah, maybe a thicker skin in some way. And if somebody triggered you, you could really lash out, I think. And with the lavender and sleep here, maybe you were also very tired. I mean, the porcupine here looks a bit tired. I don't know why. It looks like it's kind of like it closes its eyes and it looks a bit tired. Yeah, so maybe you were seen as somebody that had gone through a lot and that really needed healing and rest. You know, lavender is also very healing. I think lavender is a herb. Yeah, so really, you were in need for healing and sleep, like a rest. And yeah, your emotions could at times be a bit everywhere, I think. And on the opposite side, you also feel very kind. So I think you were seen as somebody very kind, but that just had been through a rough path in life, or, you know, a rough childhood. So, and it could be that people didn't really know where they because kind of, I think you were dealing with like shifting moods, like first you're angry and then you're sad and then you're happy. So it feels like very emotionally unbalanced. It feels like, yeah, very, very emotionally unbalanced, and with boundaries here, very easy triggered by certain things, especially things that was connected to your somehow childhood wound. Dandelions makes me think of childhood. It's actually connected to the childhood, I think, if you read about it. I think I had the dandelions in one reading not long ago, and I think when I read about it, it was very connected to the inner child in childhood. So you definitely was seen as somebody that had a rough childhood. And yeah. And like I said, you know, if you meet a boar in the forest and they are with their cubs. I don't know what the name of the boar kids are. But let's just call it cubs. So the mother can get really aggressive. So maybe you had a mother. I don't know if the father also protects the kids. But maybe, yeah, maybe both. Maybe a mother or a father that was criticizing you, or that was a bit aggressive, or that was minimizing you, or that was making it hard for you, or that was not there for you, or maybe even overprotective of you. Yeah, very overprotective of you, maybe controlling, having a lot of boundaries on you. So you somehow that affected you and made you codependent, maybe even, or just pissed off at everybody that's like your parents. Maybe something like that. Oh, we have two. Yeah, we have two more oracle cards. Look at that. So we have lightning, disruption. Yeah, I mean, look at the lightning here. You know, lightning. So yeah, you had a hot temper, I think, in the past. We have a number 41 here if somebody resonates with that number. Lightning and disruption. You know, the lightning next to the airplane here feels like a bit dangerous. You know, the airplane can crash. So maybe you were carrying a lot of fear. And I just feel like unpredictable. I think you were seen as somebody a bit unpredictable. Like you never knew where your mood, what your emotions and thoughts would take you. So yeah, easily triggered, a bit emotionally unbalanced because of your childhood. And we have cherish here. Cherish. And this goes together with the boar and the mother that was supposed to cherish, nurture, and take care of you. But I feel like it's really interesting here. It's like one part of you was very rough and very like kind of damaged from your childhood and the way you grew up. But another part of you was with the lavender and the cherish here was so soft and nurturing. So it's like people saw the good things in you. Were still seen as a good person. You were still seen as somebody very kind. It was just very clear that you needed healing. That you needed, that you needed healing. That's it, that you needed healing. And that you didn't have the stability from your childhood that makes you grow up to be that stable human being, you know, emotionally matured. Because how are you supposed to get emotionally matured when the environment that you grew up in, nobody of the adults in your environment were emotionally matured and knew how to love, because they weren't loving themselves, because their parents didn't love themselves, who had parents that didn't love themselves. So there's like this line of it just went through generations to generations. But you definitely were seen as somebody that has a soft heart, that was kind and just hurt. I think you were seen as somebody that was just hurt, and that was in need of deep healing here with the cherish and the egg here in the middle. Look at you. You were somebody that was in need of protection and deep healing, and I just feel a lot of sadness. I think you were seen as somebody that was, carrying a lot of pain and suffering and sadness. You really needed sleep and healing, like you know, lavender, the smell of lavender smells very good, but it's a bit intense smell. It's like it's a strong smell. but in a good way. It's a strong smell in a good way. But that makes me think that you were in deep need for some intense healing. So whatever you were carrying with you that made you a bit rough on the edges, that made you a bit easily triggered and emotionally imbalanced, it was difficult. It was something difficult that you had to endure, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards. We have 3 cards here. We're gonna see if we're gonna take more. We have 5 of Swords and 5 of Swords. Yeah, you know what? 5 of Swords are people hurting you. People hurting you. So you were seeing, definitely, like I said, somebody that had been hurt by people. Somebody stabbed in the back here. Look at this man has stabbed these people in the back. And 5 of Swords, you know, it's kind of a bit of a tricky, manipulative energy. Somebody sneaking out in the night and stabbing. I mean, stabbing somebody in the back is always a sneaky energy here. So it could be like really like hurt by the people that was supposed to love you. Yeah, it could really be like that. 5, oh my god, 3 of Swords. Yeah, so this is just confirming. You were seen as somebody carrying a lot of pain. A lot of pain. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of sadness. And Page of Cups. I love this for you. I love this energy. Page of Cups is, I really feel that is you. Because Page of Cups, it's like even though you went through all this and it was so clear that you were hurt and you were in pain, because I think Page of Cups is you. And it's funny because I was laying in bed yesterday and was thinking about this reading, and I already get the theme of the reading long before or just before I'm about to do it, and then when I prepare myself, I already start getting the messages. So I was thinking that I was gonna get the Page of Cups, and I already got the message yesterday. So and I felt, yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of the piles. So it doesn't surprise me that it's here. So Page of Cups, it's you. It symbolizes your purity, you know. Page of Cups is somebody that is very young, or it's a young energy. It's your innocence, your purity, your childlike nature. And look how your heart here, you see here with the light coming from the heart here. So even though, you know, you had all this, you have a little pig here also signifying abundance, hope. So even if you went through all this, you were still seen as somebody pure-hearted, childlike nature, very innocent in some way. So I think people really, there definitely were people that, you know, you had maybe dramas and conflict with because of the other energy, but there were definitely people seeing beyond that and seeing that purity that you had and feeling compassion towards the pain and suffering that you went through. Because you really went through some pain and suffering. You really did that. And it's times, yeah, I think it closed your heart, but still you had that connection. And I think that is kind of the most beautiful thing about you. Because even though all that pain, you still kept that inner light. There was a place inside of you that no pain could touch. There was a place of light inside of your heart that nobody could turn off. How do you say? Blow out. Nobody could blow out that inner light in you. So you were shining even though you were a bit messed up by everything that you went through. So yeah, beautiful soul. You were a beautiful soul already then. Yeah, I think that's it. I think this is how you were seen in the past. Yeah, so I think we're gonna put that aside. And I'm getting a bit cold, so I'm also gonna put on my sweater. Let's just do it like this. Let's just put it, probably maybe if I go back to it, yeah, let's just put it over here. And let me go get my sweater. I think I have to put on the radiator as well. Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay. And a sip of my tea. And we're gonna dive into how are you seen now. And I like the boar. We're gonna keep it here because I feel like it's coming into this reading as well. everything has a shadow side and a light aspect. And I think the light aspect here, how are you seen now? I think you're seen as somebody that has healed and that is stronger, with the boar here, you know, very confident, very protective of the people that you love. You're not easily triggered anymore. You're rather just strong and confident, and you're protecting, like I said, you're very protective of the people that you love, and you're very protective of your own self and your inner child. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. You kind of turned that around. You took everything that you were seen in the past, you took everything that you were in the past, and you turned that around, and now it became your biggest strengths. Actually, it became strengths. That's how it feels like. Well, let's look at the cards before I say way too much here. So, how are you seen now? And we have the citizen. The citizen, a modern garden rose with a citizen. Okay, I'm getting a message here, but let's look at some more cards. Healing, wow, and look how much pink we have here. Or actually, this is a pink. Is it pink? Pinkish orange. Yeah, I think it's pink, just a different kind of pink. Pinkish orangey color. No, this is insane. We have a 37 here. And also a 37 here. So 37, 37. Wow, we have an Aries here also, I see. An Aries, and I think, no, I don't, I think that's the air sign also. Healing, yeah, you're seeing somebody that has healed a lot, and that has become beautiful. I mean, with the beautiful flowers here, you have become beautiful. And the citizen, I think in the past you were seen as somebody a bit like scared. You were scared. You were somebody that was carrying a lot of fear. Not anymore. You are seen as somebody with Aries here, somebody strong, somebody confident, somebody that can stand up for themselves. Somebody, the citizen, somebody that stands up for other people. Yeah, somebody that stands up for people. Somebody that is loyal, somebody that's reliable. Somebody is definitely emotionally matured and balanced. Like very, very, not even emotionally matured, emotionally wise. You gain wisdom from whatever you went through. And wow, it's amazing the shift that you did, pile number 1. What a shift that you have done. Yeah, what a shift. And I'm just feeling the smells of the flowers here. We have a geranium here. I think geranium is also used a lot in essential oils. I don't remember what its properties is, but I know I've seen it like in essential oils. The citizen. Maybe you're even a leader now, helping people to heal the same kind of wounds that you went through. But you're strong. I mean, you're the boar. And it's like when you come, like I said, nobody wants to meet the boar in the forest. It's like if the boar comes, you move to the side. So I think you are somebody very respected for the big healing and the big path that you walked up, because people can see in your eyes, can feel in your energy that this person has done something amazing, which is picked up themselves from a very hard life and a hard situation, used all that suffering and pain to heal and to become strong and to become an amazing person. That's how it feels. It feels like you're an amazing person, a person of the people, a server of the people, with a citizen here. And we have ground with smoky quartz here. Yeah, number 18. Yeah, grounded. You know, the boar is grounded. It's all about earth energy. So very grounded, and smoky quartz is also about protection, you know. So protective, very protective. Very strong in your energy. I mean, you're very, very strong. So it's like you took all the easily triggered, aggressive energy, you know, that was easily triggered, And when you're purified and healed, that energy, when that become pure, it was actually your inner strength. And you know, it's when we are very, of course we're gonna be triggered and aggressive and angry if we grew up in an environment where somebody was attacking our self-esteem, made us minimizing ourselves, criticizing us, not loving us, not showing us what we are worth. Of course we're gonna grow up being angry and aggressive and easily triggered. I mean, we're bound to be like that. So it's normal. But now when you have healed that, instead of all your energy goes into, that's your strength was saying no. The triggers was your strength saying no, this is not right. But it was mixed with all those emotional wounds that you were carrying. But now you've healed those wounds. So now instead that strength is your strength, and you're a very grounded person, very strong and confident person. Now when you're becoming, it feels like you are you. Yeah, you're you, and you are a confident, strong person. And love, wow. And look at this. Oh, and more flowers. More flowers. I mean, you are a flower, pile number 1. Beautiful. And it's all orange and pink here still. We have white here also. Heart chakra, sacral chakra, and purity with the white flower here. It's also crown chakra, but love, yeah, because like I said in how you were seen in the past, you were seen as somebody that had a purity, that had a big heart. Sensitive, probably. Sensitive, yeah, sensitive. So yeah, you have an enormous heart. You are seen as somebody that smells good with all the flowers here. Yeah, but you know, very loving, very warm, very nurturing, loyal, but very strong in your energy, very powerful in your energy. Nobody is gonna step on your toes. Nobody wants to step on your toes, actually. There's a respect. There's a respect towards you today because of, you know, it's like I said, when people look at your energy, they know you've been through shit and you survived. Not only survived, you turned the tables and you thrived. You thrived on that darkness. You turned it, you made it to light, you made it to fierceness inside of you. So you're a fierce, loving creature. Yeah, you're a fierce, loving creature. That's what you are. And you can be a very powerful healer with healing here. So yeah, maybe you're seen as a very powerful healer, or very forced to be reckoned with in one way or another. You're a leader here, you know, with the Aries energy and the Boar here, I feel, in the citizen here. A leader type. Yeah, poor person that tries to step on your toes today, because you're not gonna get triggered and scream at them and get lash out as before. No, you are showing your boundaries very clearly now, but from a place of love. And you know, when you talk from that deep place of love to somebody and say no, something else happens to that person. Actually, people that tries to trigger, they like it better when you lash out and becomes angry. But when you say no from a place of inner strength and love, their whole body shakes, their whole ego goes, whoa, that was not nice. Because that light inside of you penetrates right into their heart chakra and takes them and says, no, you're not allowed to do that. And that is strength. That is real strength, pile number 1. And yeah, you got it. You got what it takes. You got it. I mean, you got it. And you smell good. I don't know what's with the smell here, but you smell good. I just feel, and I have a cold, and I haven't even felt, I can even feel the taste of my food, but I can definitely feel the smelling of the flowers here. My beautiful dandelion child, you are beautiful. Okay, we're gonna look at your tarot cards. Let me take a sip of my tea here first. So yeah, tarot cards. And we have 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. I think 9 of Wands, you know. 9 of Wands, you are seeing that somebody's very confident, and you have a very clear, maybe before you didn't know who you were, but now you know who you are. You're seen as somebody that knows who they are, and somebody that's not taking bullshit or shit or toxic energy from their surroundings. You are keeping your ground, you're centered, you're keeping your energy, and you're very aware of energies around you. very aware and very protective of your own energy. That's how I feel here. Yeah. And we have 5 of Cups, and we have the Emperor. Oh my god, I love these 3 cards together. So yeah, 5 of Cups signifies you letting go of the past hurt and pain, and the pain that you're still carrying within you. You are not, you are owning your own insecurities like an emperor. You are showing who you are without fear. Yeah, you are showing who you are without fear. We have the ankh here. I didn't say, yeah, we have the ankh here. That's beautiful. So yeah, a bit of an Egyptian energy here also. So maybe you have a connection to Egypt here. And I love that energy actually here. That came in here with the Emperor. Really showing that you have stepped into your power. I mean, the Egyptian ancient cultures. Yeah, you're seen as somebody, I think, you know, fierce, or people really respect you. I think you can be seen as somebody, maybe even like you have a lot of respect. You have a lot. It could be some people that are a bit scared of you, but it's not you they're scared of. It's not like because you're dangerous, it's just because the power that you have. They're like, whoa, hey, Nessie came here also. Little cat. Yeah. I love my little cat. So yeah, not because you're scary in some way, or because you could hurt or lash out towards people, just because you're carrying so much power inside of you, because you faced so much fear and darkness, and like I said, because you've been to the darkest places within yourself that made you very, very strong. There's not many things that scares you anymore. You have overcome so many things. I mean, what are gonna scare you now? You are the Emperor here. You know, and yeah, it's an owl here. It's actually my new deck. I love this. Yeah, I am in love with this new deck. Anyways, the owl here. Yeah, look at you. You're an emperor owl sitting here on your throne, and the throne is made of stone. Very, very stable. Yeah, look here. We have this Aries animal. Isn't Aries an Aries animal? Or what's an Aries animal called? It's the goat. No, I'm so sorry. Anyways, this is the Aries. So yeah, you're the leader. And you're stable, you're grounded, you have the wisdom, you have the power, you have the strength, you have the fierceness. I mean, the 5 of Cups, the fire is burning, you know. This is not your fire, actually, that is burning here. I think you're helping people. Yeah, you know, with the citizen and the fire, this doesn't feel like your energy anymore. You are seen as somebody that is rescuing people from being stuck in their own hellfire, guiding them through that, some way or another, or are meant to do that. Very strong boundaries, very strong energy. An amazing, amazing person that you are. I mean, you would not surprise me, pile number 1, if you were some kind of a spiritual leader, healer, or something like that. Or if you don't work in this, like the spiritual field, whatever you're doing, you're seen as somebody very powerful in what you're doing. Definitely somebody there in the front line. You're not a person walking back in the back. What do you say? You're not somebody that's you're in the front line. You're always there in the front line. You're a leader. You might even lead the people in some way, or showing the way in some way, but you're definitely a leader. And if you try to be something else, it doesn't matter. It shows through you. That energy is going to be showing through you anyways. And so much love and so much wisdom that you're carrying. You are an amazing person, pile number 1. And this was your reading today. Yeah, this was your reading. It was a joy to do this reading. I love this. Okay, pile number 1, that was your reading. Like I said, if you like my readings, please subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. If you feel like it, leave a comment. Yeah, anyways, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye, pile 1. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. How were you seen in the past versus how are you seen now? And you felt drawn to the bear here. And you know, bear is all about healing. It is a very powerful animal. We're gonna put it over here. We're gonna start by organizing your cards a bit. So we're gonna put how are you seen now here. We're gonna start with how were you seen in the past. Let's put that there. You're gonna put your tarot cards here, and we're gonna start with your oracle cards. So, how were you seen in the past? And we have tea tree with binding. Tea tree with binding. How were you seen in the past? We have the goat and willow with overcoming obstacles. I think you were seen as somebody very determined in the past. Very, very determined to overcome your obstacles. And you know, with the bear is a symbol of healing, but you know, the bear is a very powerful animal. I mean, a big bear. I mean, the bear is a bear. They're huge. They're very soft inside, actually. Huge, cuddly bear. Maybe it doesn't seem so cuddly if you meet it, but yeah, very determined on overcoming obstacles in your life and to reach, I think, your goals. And with the willow, you know, the willow tree that moves in the wind, still very flexible. Very flexible, but binding makes me feel like you were stuck in something. So you were seen as somebody that was really stuck in something. And with the binding, it seems like it were a very tricky situation that we were stuck in. And you were trying to overcome this. You were trying to overcome this. With all your power, you were trying to overcome this. And the poem and destiny here to reach your goal. So you were seen as somebody very determined and goal-oriented. Oh my God. Oriented. You know, okay, let's stop saying that word. Somebody very determined to reach their goals. And maybe you were even seen as somebody that had a very special destiny for themselves. People, I think you were seen, I think you really had people around you that believed in you. We have number 18 here, so maybe that's significant for some of you. And the last card we have here is nature. Somebody very connected to nature. And I just feel at times you were seen as somebody that was a bit lost on their path. Yeah, somebody that was a bit lost on their path, but that was trying to find their way forward. So I think you were seen as somebody very intelligent and somebody that was thinking a lot. I just got that feeling. Thinking, analyzing, philosophizing. Oh my God, another difficult word. Philosophating. Oh my God, let's leave that. Thinking and reflecting about life. Wanting to reach some kind of goal. You wanted to reach some kind of goal. You wanted a good life for yourself, or you wanted to attain something or achieve something. But you were trying to overcome binding obstacles here. Difficult obstacles. What is that? I can't talk in your reading. So yeah, maybe you were seen as somebody that was unbalanced in their throat chakra in some way or another, or had a hard time talking or speaking or communicating, maybe talking too much or talking too little, or yeah, not something like that. Maybe you're living somewhere and you didn't know the language. It could be something like that as well. Or the opposite, very good in communicating. Something with communication. Binding, tea tree, overcoming obstacle. Yeah, very determined to reach your destiny. And I think also I really see this energy that you were seen as somebody that was meant to achieve greatness. That's how it feels like. You know, sometimes you just see a person and you think, yeah, this person has a very special path in their life. So I think you were seen as special in some way. It could be that you were very good in school. you're very good in what you were doing or something. There was just something with your energy. And 18 could be something like when you were 18, that you were doing something, maybe you were doing a sport or something like that, or you were just good in school, and people could just see that potential inside of you. So you're definitely seen as somebody that had a big potential to make something big with their life. And if you weren't doing something special, it's just in your energy, you know. Sometimes when we look in somebody's eyes, we can just see their essence, energy. And some people could really see this in you. They can see that you had a very special path to walk in this life. And this binding, this obstacles here. And it's funny because the goat looks this way. So that feels like some kind of, you know, and the bear also looks at the binding here. So that's kind of it's kind of in the middle here, showing some kind of a hindrance, obstacle that you had to overcome. It felt like you were very focused on that. You're very focused on overcoming something. What was that? I don't know what it was. Maybe the cards will show us here, the tarot cards. Overcoming that and then reach your goal or your destiny. And we have nature here also, but that just keeps, because the nature card looks a bit dark. Just makes me feel like you being a bit lost, or the path, like your true path was forgotten. Like you were focusing on something, could be a relationship, could be a job, could be something else. I don't know what it was actually. You were focusing on something that in the end was not that important, it feels like. Forgetting your destined true path with the nature here. Forgetting where you were going. This was waiting for you here. So I don't know why, because this card usually... Okay, sorry guys. Wow, that was a big cough. Oh, I'm not done even. It's really... My whole throat started itching in this most uncomfortable way. Yeah, usually I don't feel sadness with this card, you know, nature. But I feel, because look at it, we have this beautiful tree. It's all light here, but look at this path here, it's all dark. So it's like a forgotten path. Like you were maybe not seeing maybe not focusing on the important part. And that makes me think that there was something else in your life that was taking a lot of energy from you. You were trying to handle that, but it feels like binding. You were a bit stuck in that energy. Yeah, you were a bit stuck in that energy. I am so sorry. It's funny because I didn't cough one time, I think, in pile one. So definitely something with the throat chakra here. And I'm sorry, like I said in the beginning, I am also healing a lot. So yeah, we're doing this together. So probably you're going to hear me going through all different processes through the readings. And yeah, that's my energy and that's my channel. I mean, we're healing together. So anyways. Yeah, you were focusing on something else, but it was very clear that you had a very special destiny for you, a very special place that you were meant to go. And it just feels like it was a bit forgotten here. You were not seeing it, but other people saw it, that there was something special for you. Maybe they didn't know what, but there was just something special with your energy. You were not like, it's like you were not like the people around you. You were standing out in some way. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards here. So how were you seen in the past? 10 of Pentacles. You wanted it all. You were seen as somebody that wanted it all. And maybe you were very focused on your career and creating success for yourself, creating a family for yourself. Maybe you're very focused on the earthly things. Yeah, wanting to create a stable home, a family, money in your bank account. Maybe you wanted to buy things, invest in things and stuff like that. You wanted good things, you wanted richness. Knight of Cups, and finally 10 of Wands. Yeah, but I just feel like very driven towards success and maybe fame even. Or just very driven to have a good life and a good family. I mean, that is good. So there's no opinions here. I just want to put that out. There's no opinions here. We're just putting it out how it the energy comes here. But it was a burden here with the Ten of Wands. And maybe you left it all. Maybe you're trying and then you left it all here. Because you have packed your bags here and you left here with the Ten of Wands. So a burden. You were seen as somebody that was carrying a burden. And the Knight of Cups. You wanted to create good things in your life. Beautiful things in your life. Beautiful, good things in your life, yeah. Let's see here what I get else. And maybe it all fell apart. Maybe it didn't, but maybe it did. For some of you it did, for some of you maybe it didn't, but it's like, okay, I'm getting the energy a bit here. So you were seen as somebody that was living, I feel like kind of a normal life, or, you know, a mundane life, or, you know, you were working, you had your family, you were focusing on your career, you were focusing maybe on your studies and the goals that you had and your business and stuff like that. Very earthly things, very focused on the earthly things and the obstacles in the earthly things. And with the binding, very stuck in the earthly way. So there's not much spirituality here or things like that going on, but very focused on that. But at the same time, seen as somebody that had a bigger destiny, that had a higher purpose and a bigger destiny. And with the Ten of Wands here, it feels like, at the end it became a burden. The things that you wanted and wished for yourself became a burden and wasn't satisfying for you. So you went off here. Maybe everything fell apart, or maybe you had an awakening, or maybe something happened. But at the end, you're alone here. So you started here with the Ten of Pentacles. Maybe you had it all. Maybe you were seen as somebody that had it all. You were grown, like they say, a trust fund. Maybe you're a trust fund baby. You had it all. You were grown into riches. You were grown into family and name, like they say. You know, you were not new money. You were old money, also, like they say. So yeah, maybe you were seen as somebody that had it all, but it was not. Yeah, maybe that had it all, but it was clear that you had another destiny, another thing that you were supposed to do. And also that maybe that the things that was good for you also seemed to be a burden for you, because it was, you know, being a trust fund baby doesn't mean just because you have money and name and richness and status and all that thing, doesn't mean that you're happy at all. Actually, it doesn't mean that at all. Of course, it makes life simpler in some way. It could also make it harder, you know, if you're very identified. It can create yourself a massive ego, and I mean, that's very hard to get rid of. So ego as ego, if it's a ego that comes from poverty and victim mentality, or if it comes from thinking you're better than everybody and having a lot of money. I mean, ego is ego. It's suffering either which way you're choosing, either which side of the coin that you are. So, you had it all, but it was difficult, or you wanted it all, and that became a burden because you wanted everything to become. You're very focused on wanting it to be in a certain way, wanting the relationship to work, wanting to be successful in your career, wanting so much, desiring and wanting so much, and wanting and desiring so much always creates suffering for ourselves. So it was a burden here, it feels like here. Very powerful with the bear. You were very powerful, very strong, very powerful, very determined, and very determined, I think. Yeah, I think that is the first part. So this is how you were seen in the past. Once again, I'm sorry that I had my whole coughing episode here. I really hope it didn't bother you too much. I couldn't wait anymore to do a reading because I feel pretty good actually, so I was eager to do one. So once again, I hope it doesn't bother you too much. Okay, let's put away the cards, and we're gonna look at how are you seeing now? And I'm going to take a sip of my honey tea here. So, how are you seen now? We're going to put the tarot cards here first, yeah. Let's keep that there, maybe we come back to it. And we have the Democrat. The Democrat with a wild rose. The wild rose. The Democrat with a wild rose. You're definitely more open in your energy, because I felt like in the past you're very like one. There was one direction that you wanted to walk on, and there was not so much more room maybe for other things. You had a certain mindset. You had a goal that you wanted to achieve, and that mindset and that goal in the end became some kind of a suffering or a burden for you. You're realizing, yeah, well, okay, this was not really it. Maybe you went through high school or college and school, and you got 1 degree and 2 degrees, and in the end you realized, well, this didn't make me happy, actually, or something like that. Or you wanted a family, you got your family, you were struggling with your husband or your wife, and you were still doing it, and you got your kids, and you wanted it, and in the end you're there, and it wasn't what you wanted, and it was like, so do you understand? Kind of like the dream or the want became not really fully what you wanted, but with the Democrat here, it feels like you're more open in your energy. The wild rose, you are definitely more wild and free now. You're seen as somebody more wild and free. And the vitality with the fig here, and we have a number 32. Vitality and fig, and the water element here also. And the Taurus energy, you know, the Taurus loves good things. Yeah, maybe you're seen as somebody who likes food, likes to cook, likes to enjoy life. Yeah, so before you were, it feels like you were seen before a bit more tied up, tighten up, tied up. Yeah, a little bit more like stressed and career focused on your studies, focused on your family, like the earthly things. And how you're seen now, you're seen as somebody more alive, somebody more open in their energy. And I mean, with figs, I think figs makes me think, it feels like a luxurious fruit, so it makes me think of abundance. And the Taurus is definitely somebody that likes the materialistic things. So you still like things, I think, and I think you did that in past too, but there is a more I think you're appreciating life in a new way. So there you are definitely seen as somebody, if somebody knew you from the past and now, they can definitely see that you've done a shift in your energy, from not being so uptight to being more free, more full of life, more sweet. You're sweeter and kinder now. You're not so judging anymore here. Less judging. Yeah, less harsh in your energy, just softer, nicer in your energy. I don't say that you're harsh before, but you're like very focused and determined. You're just more soft around the edges. And yeah, wow, we have a number 17 with a channel here. It says Black Phantom Quartz. Channel. Channel of light. Channel of light. Maybe you're speaking. Oh yeah, because of the coughing. The coughing stopped now, you know. It was in the other reading. It actually feels better now. So definitely maybe your throat chakra was unbalanced. What you wanted was imbalanced, it feels like, in the past. Don't say it was wrong. Like, once again, no opinions. It was not wrong, but it was a bit unbalanced. It was a bit more 3D things. It was a bit more from the ego. And once again, it's totally normal. And yeah, and the channel, you know, being a channel is all about the voice, channeling information. Throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. So you're more balanced now. Your voice is clearer, your truth is clearer, your energy is more vibrant and alive, and you're kinder, more open. More open. And forgiveness. Yeah, you're more forgiving, more passionate. More compassionate, more forgiving of yourself, more forgiving of others. Wow, I like this. More forgiving of yourself, more forgiving of others. Maybe even channeling something here. Maybe even sharing this, you know, the whole journey that you did here with yourself. Yeah. Okay, let's look at your tarot cards. And you have Page of Cups. You know what? You're seen as somebody that's more in touch with their inner child. You're seen as somebody that's curious. And I said, like, softer in your energy. Open, curious, childlike, loving. And I think very interesting, actually, also. Because I think you still have that determination inside of yourself to achieve certain things, you know, with the Taurus being such an earthly sign, the energy, the Taurus energy, like to create beautiful material things in their outside world. So I think you still like to have it, you still like the good things of life. I mean, you like sex, you like food, you like to enjoy things, you know, you like traveling, I think. You like good things. You're seen as somebody who likes good things. But once again, there's a softer energy to you now. Much softer energy. And yeah, you're seen as somebody just both strong and soft, you know. Like the fig, like the fig, you know, a fig, actually a fig, I think a fig is soft all the way through, isn't it? No? Both the skin and the inside, you know, I think you can just bite, take a chew from the fig and it goes right through. Like, it's very juicy. Very sweet and juicy. So yeah, you're seen as somebody sweet and juicy. I think you have a lot of abundance in your life. I just felt that with the fig. You're somebody seen as somebody that really can create abundance for themselves. And I don't know if you have a lot of shiny, beautiful things around you, but I keep seeing beautiful, shiny things around you. And I think you're good in sharing things. So you're sharing your things, maybe you're cooking for your friends and family, and you like traveling, you're like laughing. I think you're seen as somebody very big in their energy. You have a big aura. I think even your laugh can be like loud and big, and your voice can be very loud and big. Like, you take a lot of space, I think, in the world. With the bear, you know, the bear is a big animal. Yeah, you're big in your energy. And you're loud in your energy, but in a good way, you know. You're laughing loud, you're having fun. I think you're seen as somebody that's humor and that has an optimistic view on life. And that has shifted from how you were seen in the past. Because in the past, I think you still had that, but it was a bit more, you were rougher on the edges in the past. So you're definitely more soft now. And we have King of Pentacles. Yeah, look at you. King of Pentacles, look at you with the vault here, with all your money. So you definitely, you know, like I said in the past, you were very focused on creating a good life for your success and fame. So you did that. In some way, you created your own success. You created that stability for yourself. You have that beautiful, shiny things. So you're seen as somebody very lucky, somebody very, like, rich in your life. And, you know, it doesn't have to mean that you're a millionaire or a billionaire. You just have good things. It could be, you know, a rich life can be having, you know, a lot of friends and family around you, and things like that. But I think you do have a lot of material things around you, and that is good. You know, we are here to enjoy life. So we should not, you know, there's the attachment to things that is the unbalanced thing. Not, you know, you can have a good house and money in your bank account and, you know, feel safe and travel nice and have a good life and still be very, very spiritual. It's the attachment to things that makes us lose the balance. And you can be attached to not having things. So the person who has an aversion towards money and luxurious, shiny things could actually have a bigger ego than the person that actually has a lot of money, because the person that has a lot of money and things doesn't have the attachment towards it. So it feels like you have a lot of things, and doesn't feel with the King of Pentacles that you have attachment. It feels like you have worked on, you faced things like this in your past, you know. through lessons, you know, through attaining things in the past. You got, you know, your degrees, you got your fame, and it wasn't that it fulfilled you. You found something else that fulfilled you, and that was to open up your energy, to forgive, to become more passionate, to become compassionate, to become more kind. And you have that, you became that, to share your abundance, to cook food and to share all the riches and things that you have. Yeah, beautiful. I'm gonna restart the camera here before I shift the last tarot cards, because otherwise it will stop by itself. So let's do that. And there it's done. And your last card here is the Tower. Wow. Interesting card. So how are you seen now? I think you are seen as a person that no tower can break down. Yeah, very strong, because look at this. Usually the tower, you know, there's people falling from the tower, but you look at you, you're not a person here, you are an owl, and the owl has wings. So, you know, the lightning comes, it strikes your home here, and you're not even attached to your home, so it doesn't matter if it strikes it. You're just gonna fly away and build yourself a new home. So you're seen as somebody that has the capacity to take yourself of whatever situation, and it could, you know, like I said, how you were seen in the past, you were overcoming a lot of obstacles, so you're very strong. You're seen as somebody very strong, very capable of handling themselves. You're very independent, and you have the resources within yourself to face whatever adversities, whatever challenges whatever life is putting on your plate. You can handle it. You can really handle it like a king. And there's a lot of stability inside of yourself. So whatever happens, you can really face it, and you can build yourself a new house. I think you're seen as somebody that's very, very successful, and it has the ability to create more success and abundance for her or himself. And the Page of Cups, but still being very, I don't know why, it just gets like very curious. You feel like an entrepreneur here with the Page of Cups. Yeah, an entrepreneur, a businessman, what's it called? Like an inventor, like an inventor, somebody that gets a lot of ideas, that has a lot of inspiration, that's very creative, with the page here, or with the Cups energy here. Very creative, very capable of using that creativity to actually, with the King of Pentacles, create things in your life. You know, you're not a bullshit person. I mean it. You're not a bullshit person. Like, what you say, what you want, and what you say, you create in your life. You walk the talk. Yeah, there we have it. You're somebody that walk the talk. And you had this energy already from the past. You know, you have this strong energy. Maybe you have Taurus. Taurus could also be Virgo, but I feel very strong Taurus and Capricorn energy. So maybe you have that in some placement in your natal chart that gives you this energy. But either way, you have this energy inside of you. And the Wild Rose, you're wild. There's nobody that can tell you which direction to go. You're seen as free and wild and a rebel, and that gave me this entrepreneur, inventor energy. You know, you're paving the path. You're not the one walking in the footsteps of other people. Maybe you did that before. Maybe before you were wanting, yeah, you know, like we say here in Sweden, you know, you want a house and a Volvo. Yeah, I think that's it. A house with a fence and with a white fence and a Volvo. You know, that's the thing. Maybe you wanted that before, and that's fine. And then you got it, or you went towards it, and then you realized, no, I don't want that, because you had another destiny, like we said, like we saw, you know, in the past reading here. You had another destiny, and this is more your destiny, being this inventor, entrepreneur, business owner, or being the wild rose, doing your thing, creating your abundance, being maybe a channel for something, channeling something, channeling creativity, channeling inspiration, channeling something into the world, and being such a force that people really see that no tower in the world can break this down. This is a stable thing that you're building. You are stable. You are stable as hell. I mean, what tower is gonna, what lightning or tower moment are gonna bring you down? Nothing is gonna bring you down anymore. I mean, you built your stable ground. You have built a stable ground. I like the bear. I watched this for a while. It looks like she's, I don't know what this is, but it looks like a, yeah, it's good. I don't even know the word in English. It looks like, you know, like the king has, what is it called? Like the stick of the king. That sounds strange. Yeah, but it is, look, it is also a king crown here. You're crowned. You're crowned. Yeah, you're crowned. Yeah, the king with its crown. So you're king-like. There's a nobility towards your energy. And I mean, Taurus loves that things. They have a very strong... I like the Taurus energy. I'm actually recently starting to understand the Taurus energy. The Taurus energy is the ruling planet, you know, is Libra. Libra is all about... I mean, Libra, it's Venus, and Libra is also the ruling planet of, Libra is also Venus, that's why I mixed it up. But you know, the planet of Venus is all about love and beauty. So Taurus likes love and beauty, and you know, this noble energy of just enjoying life, and you have this nobility inside of you. And we have the snake here also showing the big transformation that you went through. So yeah, big transformation, shedding skins. I really feel like you're a very strong character, pile number 2. I think you're seen as a very strong character. You wouldn't surprise me if you were some kind of a boss. Or boss, definitely boss of your own life. Or if you're like inventing something new, or if you're doing something new, or if you're doing something old but kind of in a new way. Or if you're sticking out kind of in the field that you're working with in some way, if you're trying to change something or something like that. And yeah, and with the forgiveness here, look at you reaching towards the moon. You're always reaching. I think you're seen as somebody always reaching towards the miracles of life, the good things of life. You're seen as somebody that has a lot of hope, a lot of trust, a lot of positivity in your energy. A lot of positivity in your energy. Always wanting, always reaching towards the sky. Very spiritually connected, I think, also here. Yeah, very spiritually connected. You have it all, I mean. You seem like you have it all. Yeah, you have it all. You're definitely somebody who has the ability to create riches and fame and success in your life, in whatever energy you want to channel through you to create in your life and in the world. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reading, my beautiful pile 2. And that was your reading. Yeah, that was your reading. So if you like my readings, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, leave a comment in the comment section if you feel like sharing something. Either way, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye, pile number 2. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. How were you seen in the past versus how are you seen now? And you felt drawn to the Wren here. And the Wren is a small bird, is connected to spring and rebirth. It is also a symbol of the arts because it has association with poets, songwriters, and musicians. Yeah, it also stands for immortality and protection. We're gonna put that over here, and we're gonna see how it fits into your reading. And we're gonna start with organizing all these cards. So we're gonna put these cards. This is how you are seen now. And we're gonna start with how you were seen in the past. So put the tarot cards here, and let's look at how were you seen in the past. And you have turmeric with diversity. Turmeric with diversity. I just felt like you were seen as somebody very talented, you know, as with the Wren here connected to the arts, being artistic, and with diversity. Yeah, maybe multi-talented. Yeah, multi-talented person that knew how to do a lot of things. It doesn't even have to be artsy things, but just had a lot of talents. A lot of gifts, talents, and abilities. You were very good. With the Wren here being small, maybe you were making yourself smaller. I don't think you were taking a lot of... You feel also talented, but humble. There's a humbleness here, I feel, with the Wren being a small bird. And we have the opossum and peony and bashfulness. Bashfulness. Let me look up that word really fast. Bashfulness. That's not a common word. Bashfulness. Okay. So it says socially shy or timid. Socially shy. Bashful often describes people who are shy but friendly. Being bashful is sometimes seen as an endearing quality. Bashfulness, shy or timid. Yeah, like I said, somebody very talented. Wow, all the cards are, let me crooked here. Let me fix it a bit. Oh yeah, that's better. So, very talented, very gifted, maybe very artistic. Maybe, you know, there's a painting here, I think. It looks like, yeah, like a painting here. Oh. So maybe you were good at painting or doing some artsy things, however your creativity was taking form. It feels like what is a lot was maybe many things, or you're very good at what you were doing, but at the same time very maybe shy about your abilities or your things. Maybe you were not thinking that you were good, or maybe you were not boastful, I think is the word. You were not, you didn't have an ego when it came to it. You seemed to be a very kind and tender person, and maybe even shy and timid. Yeah, maybe even shy and timid. Okay, and we have power lines and energy. Power lines and energy. Very good in what you were doing. I just feel like I'm admiring. I feel like I want to admire you. So I think you were very admired. People will, maybe, you know, you were in school and, you know, you were the one making all the beautiful paintings, and or you wrote beautiful poetry, or maybe you were good at math. Maybe it was something else. You were very good at the things you were doing. And once again, I just feel like this energy of being shy, maybe not having a lot of friends, or having a few friends, but still being seen as somebody very good with the power lines and energy. You're very good at what you're doing. Very good at what you were doing. Awakening. Wow. And look at your hands here. They're glowing. So, and I look at this card, it's so dark, but you're glowing. So it's like you're trying to hide yourself a bit, but you can't, because your talent is glowing through you. You're still being seen. So maybe you were a bit shy before, or you were seen a bit shy, but you were talented as hell, but shy and timid and maybe a bit insecure about yourself even. But a lot of talent. A lot of talent, very talented. Yeah, I keep saying that, but very, very talented. And with awakening and the Wren here, you know, the Wren was standing for rebirth, and the awakening is all about rebirth. I'm sorry, guys, for my coffee. Let me take a sip of my honey tea. Yeah. So, you were seen as somebody that was gonna... I think you were seen as somebody that was gonna go somewhere with their talents. People saw your talents and your gifts, and they were thinking, yeah, this person is gonna do something with this. It's gonna create some kind of success for them in the future. some awakening, something would happen to them, some rebirth. They were gonna go through some rebirth, it feels like. Let's look at your tarot cards. We have the Magician. Yeah, I mean the Magician. Wow, it's just confirming what I'm saying. You are seen as somebody super talented. Super, super, super talented. Very good at what you were doing. Very, very good at what you were doing. I like the Magician here. Look at this. It really looks like, you know, this genius person in his laboratory here, trying to invent something new or trying to find out something new, reading his books and doing his things. So it doesn't have to be artistic talents, but just I think you were seen as somebody very smart, very capable, but very, very with a big, I just see a big brain here. So a big brain that had the potential and capacity, you know, with the power lines, the capacity, the potential to put that energy to whatever. It's like, I don't know, I feel like a genius avatar-like person here. Yeah, maybe you were a genius. Maybe you have like this enormous high IQ, or just being a very genius, intelligent person. But definitely not arrogant about it, not arrogant at all about it. Very like, you're very unique and very special, you know, like the nerdy professor, you know. I mean, like Einstein. I mean, look at the pictures of Einstein. He looks completely nuts at the pictures. I mean, you see, he does. He looks completely nuts with his hair, you know. But I mean, the genius that he has. I'm not calling you nuts, beautiful pile number 3. So, but the genius that he has. This is just somebody very like odd, but very, very talented, very genius, very like. And you know, Einstein and all these people. There was no arrogance to their work. There was no ego to their work. There was just a lot of passion towards what they're doing. Very focused on creating, very focused on what they were doing. I definitely get like, you know, being I think autistic and, you know, the ability to hyper focus. I have that a lot. So I am a bit autistic actually. Anyways. So when I get when I get a new subject that I want to study, yeah, I see you in a couple of months when I have read everything about it and I make lists and I do all the things I like. I kind of go to school, I make my own school. It feels like you have that thing, like when you like to do something, you can hyper focus on that. The whole world disappears around you. And maybe you had one thing, or maybe it was diversity. Feels like it's several things that you could do. You were multi-talented, but could also be one thing. So it's how it resonates for you. But you could really focus on what you were doing, and what you were doing was great. It was like the whole world around you disappeared, and you were creating your thing. That's how it feels like here. And this could be. It could also be you as a child. If you don't really resonate with this energy, it could be like you as a child was seen like this. You know, you're sitting there in school and everybody's running around. You're just painting your picture, or you're just playing your instrument, or you're just doing your thing, being a bit shy and timid, maybe not like everybody else, but you're doing your thing with a lot of talent, and people saw that you had a lot of talent. You were a cute little bird. It feels like you were a cute little wren here, a cute little bird here. So it could definitely be, this could definitely be your childhood. Or just the energy you were carrying was very childlike, even, you know, in your youth and when you were growing up. So who knows when this was the past? How were you seen in the past? You were seen like this. And the awakening and the power, like powerful. You know, powerful in a way that you don't know it. Powerful and humble. It's like when you look at all these talent shows. And people walk up into the stage and they're really humble about their ability. They don't think they're good, and they're always like, yeah, but there are people better than me. And they don't have this, yeah, I'm good, I know I can sing, I know I'm good. You don't have that energy here. It's more like you don't even know how talented you are. You're just doing your thing, and you don't even know. You don't even think of it, maybe, because you're just doing it because it's fun, because you're, you know, like the autistic person, just fully absorbed in the wanting to discover it, wanting to learn it, wanting to dive into that subject or to the craft or to the thing that you're doing. So you're not even thinking in those lines that you're being very good, but you are very good. And you know, it's like this, like I said, the talent show, America's Got Talent, and you know, you have this kid walking up the stage, and it's like being very humble, very like maybe a bit shy and timid, and then this person starts to sing, and I can cry now almost when I think about this. I love watching these people as an empath, you know, we can feel what they're feeling. So it's wonderful to feel this energy, how this person walks up to that big ass stage, you know, like America's Got Talent, and it's so many people in the audience, and it's like an enormous stage, and you know, this little person steps out there, and they're gonna bear their whole soul to the world, and they sing, and you can see, I think I'm gonna cry actually a bit, but you can see when they start to sing, when they start to share their talent, that they love what they're doing. They don't do this for, it's their souls. Their soul is expressing themselves, and it's beautiful. So you have you were seen as somebody that had a very strong connection to your soul, and to some kind of an expression that came out of it. Whatever you were doing, you were very good in what you were doing, and very special, maybe timid, maybe shy, maybe a bit odd, but definitely somebody, I think you were a bit, I think maybe you didn't even notice that, but I think people looked up at you because of they're like, yeah, poetry is a bit strange and odd, but they're damn good at what they're doing, something like that. And yeah, something like that. Maybe hard time with the social, you know, I think I read the bashfulness is also being a bit social awkward. So maybe, yeah, you were a bit social awkward, you know, awakening here. It's like this person doesn't really know how to dress, you know, how to fit in. So maybe that was part of your youth, not really, you know, trying to fit in, but you didn't really find your style. And, you know, it was a bit, yeah, but look at this person actually smiling. So it's like when you're doing your thing, when you were in your bubble, when you were in your world, you are fully happy, you are connected, you are happy, you are doing your thing, you're dwelling within the happiness within your inside of yourself, or something like that. Yeah, we have a number 36 here. Maybe that is significant. This was a very fun reading. We have 9 of Cups. And we have Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, maybe you were looked up as an oddball and a bit like that, but still it feels like you were seen as somebody very comfortable, maybe socially awkward, but still kind of being you. You know, it's like kind of the nerd not really bothering by being a nerd, because kind of happy with the person that they are. You know, I'm born 1981, so I'm 1981, and by then it was very being different here in Sweden. So I don't know how it was where you live, but here in Sweden, you know, it was very like stereotypical, you know, a boy is a boy, a girl is a girl, it should be like that, you should dress in a certain way. It's definitely not like that now. Being nerdy, you know, was not a nice thing, but now it's cool. I mean, the boy who comes with pink clothes to school is seen like somebody cool, that is sticking out, that is, it's like that now, especially here in Sweden. Being different now is cool, but before, being different was not cool, but now it's cool. I mean, being nerdy, I mean, I'm the biggest nerd, and I love it. Actually, I'm very nerdy actually, and I like it. So being nerdy now is being cool, and for us, you know, that grew up when it wasn't cool, it's kind of nice now being a bit cool. So anyways, but I think you were not bothered by that, you know. You were seen as somebody who was not bothered by who you were. So with the Queen of Pentacles, feels like still you were kind of comfortable in your own skin. I mean, I don't think Einstein worried. He doesn't look like he worried about anything, actually. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna be me. Like, he was fully absorbed by, you know, all the things that he wanted, you know, quantum physics, so the theory, relativity theory, or however it was, I don't really actually know exactly, whatever he was absorbed in solving, what mystery he was absorbed in solving. So it feels like you had that energy. You were in your own world. Especially as a child, you were kind of in your own bubble, in your own world. So a bit autistic energy, a bit or empathic energy, you know, or highly intellectual, having a very high IQ, being highly intellectual also creates this kind of, it kind of gives you the same symptoms, or how am I going to say, personality as being autistic and things. Kind of, you're in your own bubble, you want to be in your own world, you want to explore things. So confident with the Nine of Cups here, being like kind of like, yeah, comfortable in your own skin, doing your own thing, not bothering so much about what's around you. Yeah, and I think maybe it could be a bit hard reaching you, you know, and maybe hard time making friends, but maybe it wasn't bothering you so much. But yeah, how you were seen, it didn't seem to bother you that much. Maybe it did bother you, but how you were seen, it didn't seem to bother you that much. And you know, it was nicer for you anyways to be in your bubble and to be in those social awkward situations, trying to fit in, you know, maybe with other girls and boys, you know, boys playing with their cars or playing football or like doing their masculine things, and the girls doing their makeup and talking about boys and doing their things. And maybe you rather read a book, or you rather paint, or you rather play your instrument, or you rather do this and that. So maybe it was hard for you to find your place. And yeah, but I think you were seen as somebody who was fine with that, and somebody very talented, and somebody was, you were, I think, I'm still getting your school, like your school, child, youth here. You're still seen as somebody who was going to make it in some way or another. Like, you were seen as different. Diverse, yeah, diversity, diverse. You were different from the crowd, different from your classmates. So somehow you were different, and that different thing that you had, it was seen as something positive in the way that you were not gonna you're not gonna do the same things like everybody else. There was a sense that you were gonna reach something, that you were gonna do something with that intelligence that you had, with that creativity that you had, with that sensitive soul that you had. I'm starting to really like this energy. Yeah, I really like this energy. Yeah, okay. So let's put that to the side. And I'm going to take a sip of my honey here, or my honey water. And we're going to look at, how are you seen now? And let's start again with your oracle cards. So how are you seen now? Yeah, what happened? Did you actually reach your success? And wow, I love this. The Lover. You have definitely bloomed. I mean, pile number 3, the Lover. Old garden rose with the Lover. We have a number 24. What was the number we had here? It was not 24. Was it 36? Yeah, it was 36 here. So 24, bourbon rose. I mean, a big red old garden rose. So you have bloomed. Whoo, you have bloomed. You're definitely, I mean, you are definitely artistic. Very artistic and very expression. So before, it feels like you had this energy, you were kind of like doing your own thing, being a bit nerdy, reading your books, painting your things, not sharing it maybe. But now you are out there. Now you're not shy anymore. I still get this kind of humble feeling, you know, but it's kind of you bloomed out to this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful red rose. It could even be, you know, like that you went through a whole physical transformation. And I was definitely seen as the nerdy girl in school. I was bullied in school. I was very, actually this actually fits me. Wren, I was so small, people put me in the lockers, you know. It's kind of fun laughing at it now. It wasn't fun then. I was very small as a girl, you know, smallest in the class, you know. And yeah, so I'm not seen as beautiful or something like that. I'm actually pretty beautiful today. So I went through a whole transformation. I was beautiful back then too. I just didn't know it because of all the pains and things that I went through, and also being very sensitive and all these things. So maybe you were, because I'm getting, you know, these movies like, you know, the nerdy girl movies. I can't even remember the names now, you know, but you know, the what is the name, this typical nerdy girl, you know, they take a nerdy girl and they make a transformation and she becomes like bombshell beautiful. So it feels like maybe you went through that transformation. Maybe your whole body changed, your posture changed, your self-confidence has changed. You are not that timid, shy person anymore. You are strong, bold, you know, with the red rose here. I mean, the red is a bit of a bold color. Bold and beautiful, pile number 3. Very bold and very beautiful. You have bloomed to become the lover, and you know, still very artistic, very creative, very artistic, and you have cultivated those talents and gifts, and really it's like you become really good at what you're doing. Your creativity is off the top, and I really feel some of you are very like painters, writers, poets, musicians, actors, something like that, or just inventors, or just having a very intelligent mind, you know, reading books, are very good in communicating your ideas and your thoughts. And maybe you have a web page and you're sharing things, whatever you were obsessed about, if it was astrology or if it was history, if it was math or religion or whatever it was. It's like, what a strong character you are now. What a strong ass character you are now. Nobody could even think of you being that shy and timid person. You still have that humbleness about you. But nobody could think that you were bullied or something like that, maybe. So maybe you were bullied, but yeah, maybe you could have been bullied, yeah, because I mentioned that. Maybe you were small like me, a very small, you know, very small little girl or boy, you know, and all the guys got muscles and, you know, all the girls got breasts, and you were still that skinny ass little girl or boy, you know, in school and something like that. And you became even nerdier because you like to play the flute or guitar or, you know, something like that, or reading books or, yeah, so, but now that just, woo, I mean, whatever was nerdy when we were growing up, I'm saying it became... The nerds always becomes the successful ones. Have you thought about that? Actually, yeah. So I think you're seen as very successful. I have to restart the camera here now because it's gonna stop by itself. So let me do that really fast. There, it's done. Actually, you can only record about 30 minutes and then it stops. So I just saw we hit, I think, 24, something like that. So let's just do it now. Okay, I'm loving this reading. Oh wow, we have an orange, number 28. We have energy here. We have the water sign, and we have Virgo, the sign of Virgo as well. Energy. You know, again, bold in your energy, very strong in your energy, very expressive. So it's kind of funny, like you kind of went through to... I did that when I was young as well, you know. I was walking behind the lockers, you know. We had this big ass... I think it's called lockers, you know. You know, the... yeah, I think it's called the lockers, you know, the place where we put our books and things in high school. So I was walking behind lockers, you know, hiding myself, being very timid. Didn't want to like... yeah, I just didn't want to be seen, actually. Because I was walking there, you know, feeling bad about myself. Poor me. So, and I'm not hiding behind any lockers anymore. So anyways, so maybe you were doing that. Maybe you were hiding yourself, not wanting to show your arts, not even maybe thinking that you were good. You're not hiding anymore, pile number 3. You're out there. You're showing your thing. You're doing your thing. You're in your energy. With energy here, you are in your energy. And you are expressive, passionately expressive, and I love this. I would love to see your paintings. It feels like you are a very special soul, pile number 3. I like this energy a lot. Yeah. And we have number one. We have emotions here. It says a number one here actually. So emotions, black moonstone, and a one. And Wren, I said Wren was about rebirth. And you had awakening. So yeah, you are seen as somebody, people that know you from the past, they look at you and they're like, wow, this person really made a whole change in their life. This person really made a change. So you're seen as somebody who went to a big change and started a new chapter of your life. And emotions, it's just like you are very balanced in your emotions, and kind of, you know, a good artist or a good a good artist uses their emotions. I mean, we cannot create without emotions. Everything that we channel into creativity is emotions, you know. It's sadness, it's grief, it's anger, it's passion, and we use that, and we use that energy, and it can be love, it can be source energy, whatever it is. It's maybe source energy is not pure emotions. That's way too high information to just channel like this, I feel. So it's actually new information for me. I'm trying to integrate it, so let's leave that. But you're good in channeling emotions, so you're very good with emotion. I think you're a very good lover by number 3. I just feel it. I feel like I'm getting like you have a strong sexual energy now, and it feels like you're using that power. You have a strong life force, and you're using that to create, to create, to put in what you're creating, what you're putting out to the world. So I feel you are seen as a very good lover, very tender and passionate and good lover, maybe even romantic. There is definitely somebody that really like becomes a bit swoon. Is that the way you say it? You make people swoon. I think you say it like that, swoon. Yeah. So yeah, you have that. You're charming. You're seen as somebody charming. You're seen as somebody attractive, charismatic, that has a high energy, that has a high life force, a lot of chi running through them. You're seen as artistic. You're seen as delicate but strong, you know, with the Wren here. And somebody that has their emotions under control and that is not scared. This feels like you have a lot of, kind of like you're able to handle all kind of emotions and channel them into something good, channel them into your creativity. That's how it feels like. Yeah. Interesting. I'm feeling some energy now that makes me shake out of fear, actually. So that was very interesting that it came into the reading. Let's just leave it aside. It could be something else that I'm picking up on. So change. Wow, look at this. Oh, I love this. We have a beautiful white horse here and an air balloon and change here. This is you. You are seen... You're seen as somebody that went through a massive change, a massive transformation. And I mean it. You are like, you know, the nerdy girl in school. Now they even have the nerdy boy version of that movie. Is it She's All That? Is that the name of it? She's All That? No, maybe that's another movie. There's a couple of movies like that, actually. Cinderella story, you know. Anyways, change. You went through a massive change, and you didn't just go through a massive change. You're seen as somebody that went through a massive change and that created magic in their life. Magic. You became magical. You became magical. Yeah, you did became magical. That's so wonderful. Whew. I have to breathe a bit towards this energy here. So we have 8 of Pentacles. Yeah. So very crafty, very good at what you're doing. Still looked at somebody very good at what you're doing, and with the 8 of Pentacles, look at painting. Yeah, like I said, definitely somebody painting here, making paintings or crafting something. You are seen as a hard worker. You are seen as somebody that reaches their goals and very goal oriented and very determined and very good, very good at what you're doing. You're very good at what you're doing. Ace of Swords. You are seen as somebody that broke through the matrix, that broke through the old way of doing things. Like if everybody in your school did, you know, everybody got kids, they got married, or they got relationship, they got divorced, and now they're stuck at a dead-end job or something like that. You are seen as the Joker card. My friend calls me that, actually. She calls me, you're the Joker angel. Nobody knew what was going to happen to you. Look at you now. So you're were the Joker. Nobody knew what was going to happen to you, but you were the one, you know, there's a one here. You were the one amongst all that actually didn't do that, that did something else with your life. That took another direction. You took another direction, and maybe it came as a surprise. Some of you, I think they saw it. Maybe there were some people who saw it in you, but not all of them. It could be both ways. Maybe some they saw it in you, or anyways, let's leave that. You did it anyways. That's the most important thing. You did it. Wow. And Three of Cups. You were seen as somebody that has created success in your life. And if you didn't have friendships, if you weren't popular in the past, you are popular now with the Three of Cups. People are loving you. They're celebrating you. They're loving your art or whatever you're doing, your ideas or your texts or whatever you're sharing with you. They're loving you. You're loved. You're loved. You're popular. You have friends. You're not socially awkward anymore. Maybe you're special. Maybe you're very special. And you are an introvert. And you still, you know, like to do your things in your own way, but you're not an oddball. You're not, you know, not in the negative sense. It's like I said, you're the cool nerd now. You are definitely the cool nerd now, and you're seen as that. You're seen, and you don't even think you're seen as a nerd. You know, like the nerds. Does nerds even exist anymore? I mean. I think maybe in America, you know, I've been to America 3 times actually, and I have relatives. I'm Armenian, and I know, you know, Little Armenia, so I have relatives in Little Armenia. My first time I was in Little Armenia, or in California, Glendale actually. I was 16 years old, so I was with my cousin in high school, and I was visiting. So it was very like in the movies, you know, they had their group. There was the nerds, and they were the musicians. It was very like divided, kind of like in those groups. So maybe you have that. So my American viewers, please share. Maybe I don't have viewers that are that young. I actually do. I've seen it in my statistics. I've seen it in my statistics. So maybe in America there's still kind of the groupings. I don't actually know here really, but yeah, anyways, I think kind of the term nerd and the way it was looked upon back in the 70s and the 80s and maybe the 90s, it's not the same as it is now. So and I mean, we're adults now, so I mean, who's gonna call us a nerd? Anyways, you are cool now. You are cool, and you're seen as cool. You are seen as cool. Yeah, you're seen as cool. You're in that. You're also in your right forum. You're kind of in your right environment, you know. So you're in your place. You found your place. So if you're a painter, you're kind of in those environments. If you're an inventor, or, you know, you're a professor or whatever you're doing, you're kind of in those environments in your work, or so you're in the right place. You are also in the right place. You're also in the right place. Okay. Whew. Pile number 3. That was your reading. That was your reading. And I really enjoyed doing this reading. I saw myself in so many parts of this reading, so it was very fun to share this with you. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Super excited. So if you want to share a comment in the comment section, if you want to share your story for me and for the other viewers here, please feel free to do so. It's never... you never have to, it's just if you feel like it. And if you like my readings, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and either way, I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye, Pile 3.